Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Okay, your Phillies win 3 of 4 against Colorado, and after I saw Game 1, and after I saw that first inning from Aaron Nola in Game 2, I would have been stunned if you told me that's how strong they finished. It was a good series for some of these players offensively. Brandon Marsh in the final game with Trey Turner, with Cody Clemens. What in the world? Pache hit a home run in this series. We had a game where Castellanos hit 2 in one ball game. What in the world is going on? There has to be a different universe because this is just not adding up. But damn it, this is what we needed. We needed this squad to get on the right page, and beating the Colorado Rockies and taking 3 of 4 the way that it was, it felt good again. I just have to be honest with you. It feels like a Phillies weekend that I can support and I can get behind, and I haven't had that many times this season. So solid from the squad, and at times it looked rough. So for the ability to battle back, for guys like Edmundo Sosa to have a big at-bat and also have a fantastic glove at third base, a lot of different players stepped up. And I wondered when we'd see Castellanos' power. Think about how crucial and how important that was to that game. If he's able to drive the ball over the wall, they become something different. That's why the doubles, all great, but I needed more. Because without his home run power in that game, I don't know what the outcome is. I have no idea. His ability to drive in runs to this level changes who you are. But I love the fact that it's somebody new in every single game. Trey Turner's power is starting to come around a bit. Your bullpen is starting to become more of a cohesive unit. You got 7 from Aaron Nola, a guy who I think generally, whenever he has to battle in a game, gets thrown off the tracks. After that first inning going down 3-0, he stayed true to himself and kept going. For him to reach 7 innings, we need that. It's one big domino. What do you know? The bullpen looks better. What do you know? Starters are going deeper. Bailey Falter giving you 7. Nola giving you 7. Wheeler giving you 6. That one inning was a mess. But prior to that, he was striking out everyone and their mother. Matt Strom, too, in Game 1. Unfortunately, they got shut out, and the offense couldn't click at all. But he finished with 11 Ks. It's outrageous. But Zach Wheeler was so good. Holy hell. What was rocking early was great. And at least he was able to put that one inning behind him and keep going. So it's clear that when one group of this roster starts to move in the direction that they're supposed to, succeeding, everything else falls into place. I don't think it's that hard to see. They're 11-12. You look up, you see the standings now, 11-12. It doesn't really feel that way. Not that that's great by any means, but just based off of how it kind of smells. If you were smelling the first, what is that, 11-12? Is that 23 baseball games? If you could smell that to get a sense on who they were, it feels like maybe they'd only have 7 wins, 8 wins. All right, they're one game under 500. You have the Houston Astros, who just swept the Atlanta Braves. Can you make a statement from the last time you saw them, you hate them, you want to punch them? Do it, please. We'll take a look because I believe they're off Monday this week, right? They have off on Monday. Oh, sorry, Seattle. You have Seattle before Houston. So you have Seattle at home Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you head to Houston to face them on Friday, Saturday, and you have some Sunday night baseball at 7 p.m. on ESPN. Get a rematch of the World Series. The reason why it's disappointing is because of the talent that you faced in those 23 games were not very good. If you were facing the top teams, then the 11 and 12, maybe we discuss it differently. Cincinnati, Chicago White Sox, right? The Texas Rangers, the Miami Marlins. I don't even know what the Rangers are at now after their start of the season when they got swept. The Phillies, that is, getting swept by Texas. Where's Texas at now? 13 and 7. Okay. Leading that division. Still don't believe in them. But I digress. It's not really about that. What it's about is players coming along. And Kevin Long happens to be Jeff Stoutland. Because anybody that Kevin Long speaks to, and he says, you now have to do this, let's start changing some of your fundamentals with your swing. Let's start peeling it back and changing you, the hitter. They become unreal. Christian Pache is on a tear right now. He hit a home run. Cody Clemens smoked one to right field. The thing was murdered. And Brandon Marsh, well, at this point, we already knew how special he became at the plate. But every time, he's doing it consistently, basically every single day, every single night. Brandon Marsh has become a huge piece of this lineup, and I love where Rob Thompson slotted him. And a nice meat of the order there. Big fan. Lefty bat. Look at his OPS. Look at his slugging. How did we get here? Kevin Long. You could put anyone in Kevin Long's batter's box, and he'll have the answers. I don't know how some people just have the magic touch, but Jeff Stoutland, you could never play football before. I'll make you a left tackle. That's one of the best left tackles in the league. Who's this kid? All right. You want to play guard? We got you. You want to be an all-pro? Okay. Let's go to Jeff Stoutland University. It's the same with Kevin Long. I guess you could see the reason why guys like Trey Turner, guys like Bryce Harper, all the players love working with this guy because he can get Christian Pache on the board. He can get Cody Clemens to smoke a nuke. It was nuked! Nuked! Cody Clemens stinks! He's hitting a bomb! Holy hell. That's how you know it was a great weekend. Spark plugs like Edmundo help win you a game. Nick, please let this be real. Please let this become a daily thing where you can step up to the plate and hit the ball as far as you did when you're hitting 2 homers in one game. I told you this team is going to thrive when they start showing all their power. Alec Boma almost had one to left field, but it just started to slide foul there as it was getting closer to the wall. So he pulled one. I'm like, oh, damn, that thing was roped. By the way, haven't even mentioned Kyle Schwarber and the timely home run before Edmundo Sosa's play offensively and defensively. What's been a common problem? Timely hits. Not being there in a timely spot. Well, we know Schwarber this time of the year isn't the Schwarber in June. But fellas, we're down 3-2. Can we get someone to tie up the game? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So, and one thing I loved about this Game 4 win is when Zach Wheeler was dealing and the fourth inning came around, the Phillies were up 2-0. Your ace struggled. Colorado takes the lead, 3-2. And I'm sure it's easy to go, oh, man, come on. Hold your head down. Instead, right back. We're not playing any games. We're not going to have terrible at-bats 3 innings in a row and then have to try and grind it out in the 9th inning right away, instantly. JT, boom, some others. Bang! You punch back. We're not playing this game where we have to watch 3 innings that are very poor, watch poor plate discipline. 1, 2, 3 innings. Offense going quiet, and then try and hope that something comes around in the 9th inning where you get some base runners on and force the Rockies, who's a bad baseball team, to let one slip out of their hands. Instead of the Phillies winning it, do you sneak by because the Rockies lost one? And then we're feeling so much different right now as we speak. No, it was more of the Phillies saying, damn it, we lost the lead, let's go take it back. It wasn't, well, the Rockies are so disgusting that you won really because they have no idea what they're doing, because they're not dialed in. Now, granted, there's times where, sure, they're bad. Profar out in left field, trying to make a diving catch. It ends up hitting his wrist. The ball drops. There were some things that happened that the Rockies did shoot themselves in the foot, but I don't say that that was more impressive, or not really impressive, but that wasn't more of the reason why the Phillies won. Sometimes that is the case. You only win because of what the other team didn't do. They didn't play clean baseball. They played sloppy baseball. Oh, you got one. You got a free one. Some nights, it's a little bit of both. You attack and you grab it while the other team seems to be out in left field, not paying attention to the 9 innings. Or just happens to be 1 inning of the 9 innings, but that's enough to give your team an L. I like their approach, and I especially like how they reacted to the first game and that first inning with Aaron Nola. There's no way Phillies fans around the area were feeling great when they saw Aaron Nola throw a pitch that got smoked, and now they're down 3-0 after getting shut out the day before. I'm very impressed that they did this, because I didn't know if they were going to be the team that good. Truth be told, yes, they become a different identity when Bryce Harper comes back, and the more and more we keep reading, the quicker and quicker he's going to be back. Matt Gelb had the piece in The Athletic about checking with his doctor and hoping to get cleared, and it won't be too long after he gets cleared that maybe he gets slotted into the lineup. We're watching him take ground balls. We're watching him run on the bases and practice sliding back to first base. I thought maybe first week of June. Now we're playing with possibly that Boston Red Sox series at Citizens Bank Park. That would be nuts. We're talking level of historic returns in Major League Baseball coming back from a Tommy John injury. You're seeing numbers of players that come back in such a short amount of time. He's now at the top of the list as one of the quickest returns, if it so happens to be when it is Boston. No surprise, that's what Bryce Harper does. Things that aren't human. And hopefully that's enough to spark this team into a 10-game winning streak, an 11-game winning streak. Something that we can really, really get behind and flip that switch, because we're still in a weird spot, but they're 11-12, and let's see what they do against Seattle. See what they do against Houston. There's going to be some tougher asks. And it would be so Phillies to lose a series to Cincinnati or split a series to Cincinnati or however it goes. I'm just saying. This would be the team to get swept by Miami and then go to Houston and sweep them. Right? I mean, isn't that what it is? Baffling. This team's always making us wonder, what the hell? It never adds up. Even a year they get to the World Series. It's not easy. It's not, they're a 100-plus win team. Houston, think about Houston's thoughts prior to the season last year. We're a championship caliber team. We're going to go win a bunch of baseball games. We're going to beat the Yankees because that's what we do. They're afraid of us. Their fan base cries when they know that our paths are going to cross. We just win. We will go win the World Series and prove the baseball world wrong that we are cheaters. Whatever your opinion is about what they did in the past, their goal was, let's go win a title and let's go win so many damn baseball games. And that's what they just did. They did it. The Phillies lose a bunch, fire a manager, this happens, you go to the first round against the Cardinals, and holy hell, how do they do this? It never makes sense. So that's why I wouldn't be stunned if they lose to bad teams, they sweep a team they shouldn't that's really good, and, I'm just saying. And then after you feel good about that, they drop a series to a team that's average. Oh, man. The good thing is Nola was able to go a decent amount for you. I'm just looking at Nola and Wheeler, really. Because you have to realize they have to give you length. You can't survive when starters go 4. When starters go 3 2/3, when starters go 4 2/3. Pieces like Bilotti get torched, and their arms get thrown out early. You can't sustain it. So for your aces to have 2 good starts this time around the rotation, that's step 1. You don't go to the finish line without those 2 workhorses. And it's nice to have a Falter, and it's nice to have a Matt Strahm that could sprinkle in performances that keep your team involved. You won a game with Christopher Sanchez, too. The fact you can steal a win with a pitcher like that going, that matters, right? So let's not just jump over that hurdle that you have to start a Major League Baseball game with Christopher Sanchez and you win it. That helps out. That's an added bonus. If you take those type of starters over the long run, think about, at the end of the day, when you see your record, looking back at some of their starts. And is that the difference maker? Last year we looked at what? Beating your bad opponents, which this year has been off to a struggle. But the Washington Nationals, thank you very much. The Miami Marlins, our older kryptonite, thank you very much. Last season. Well, when you get guys like Strahm in here, and Falter in here, and Sanchez in here because Ranger isn't back yet, and Painter had the injury to start the season, I just want to make sure that we recognize how great that is to find a dub. All right. 856-442-9805. That's the phone number. Your thoughts on this weekend. Let's run it.
Bros, man, great game today. Great game. You know, I'm not holding my breath here until I see this kind of action against a team that's not the Rockies. However, 3 out of 4, it's great. But the game being exclusive on Peacock today, though, man, that is garbage. Did it pay $5? How do you not have it on TV, at least in the local market? And this week, the first game against Houston is an Apple TV exclusive. I fucking hate that, man. That's awful, but go Phils.
All right, a few thoughts. It's year 2023 at this point, right? It is what it is. This is where it's going. I don't have any issues. I don't complain because I can find the ways to watch these games. You can go to Peacock, you can go to Apple TV, you can stream the game in ways that maybe isn't supposed to be streamed. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, if you get what I'm putting down here. You just have to be able to find it. Of course, it's not regionalized. There's a reason why the league is putting the games on Peacock only, or why it's Apple TV exclusive only. A lot of money is being thrown around. And it is what it is. I mean, I don't know. I hear nonstop from 80-year-olds, 85-year-olds, 70-year-olds, whenever there is a game like this, they're constantly calling into the radio, go, why can't I watch this game? Figure it out. Figure it out. I just think we need to get over the hump with the we can't watch the game thing. I hate the broadcast. At least Rube made it feel a little more like home. Having Ruben Amaro Jr. on there gave us a bit of comfortability just because we're so accustomed to hearing his voice throughout the broadcast. But yeah, the broadcast stunk. There's no denying it. I don't prefer this. I hate when they put it on Facebook. I hate when they have the games because of the broadcast. But access to it in 2023, you just got to do what you got to do. Couple games a year, 2, 3, 4 games at a 162. That's just where the technology world is. In regards to the Rockies, though, because the caller brought up, I know it's just the Rockies. I would like to see them do this against a different opponent. I co-sign that statement. I also feel that. With that said, though, it's about how they won. That's what I'm studying now. How they won. Bryson Stott home run. Brandon Marsh home run. Role players home runs. Nick Castellanos finally home run. Schwarber home run. Turner home run. It's how they did it. And sure, Rockies, they don't have a ton of talent. You got to start somewhere, though. Before you get out of a slump, it takes a single. A single to the left side. A diving play ends up hitting the infielder's glove. You beat out the single, and that could be the difference in maybe putting on a nice little run and smoking a ton of hits, going on a 10-game hit streak. All because of just a dinky single to the third base side that you beat out in the infield. When you try and compare the two, I'm saying equivalent to an individual player finding a base knock to start something in a positive direction, that's this team and this series. Going down to a team they should beat, having the response. The top two in their starting rotation, having really bizarre, ugly innings, but not letting that run them out of the game. Not falling apart completely. Digging deep. Having successful innings after that. These are all trends that have to continue. But it has to start before it can continue. We didn't even have this. We didn't have Nola going 7. We haven't had a crisp Zach Wheeler, really, to the point where we saw some of those strikeouts and how nasty and gnarly the ball was moving out of his hands and how he was fooling hitters, swinging and missing. Guys were twisting their ankles and falling to the ground. All that stuff, we haven't seen that yet. So, yes, it needs to happen against a different squad, but it needs to happen before it can continue to happen. This is it all happening to a lot of these players that I mentioned offensively and pitching. So, we have some text as well. Broads, what's one positive surprise and one negative surprise with the Phillies? That's a good question. One positive surprise? I think it has to be Brandon Marsh. I expected him to be a better hitter. I didn't expect him to have this type of slugging and this OPS and the pop. Not at least this early in the Brandon Marsh experience. He just got here. This isn't year 4, year 3, year 5 with someone that Dave Dombrowski traded for and said, I can work with him, but it just takes time. He had the half of last year. He then goes into an offseason with Kevin Long, and now to jumpstart this season, he's raking He's tearing it up. I have to say that my positive surprise is how quickly Brandon Marsh became what Dave Dombrowski thought he was. One negative surprise with the Phillies? A negative surprise. I can't say Nola and Wheeler just because of how they did last season. At the end of the year, how quick the turnaround was for them. I kind of anticipated a weaker start to the year, even though it doesn't make it any easier watching it and acknowledge that it was going to happen. It still hurt. It wasn't enjoyable. So that wasn't really a surprise, just aggravated seeing it. Thought Rob had some struggles early, but that's not really my negative surprise. Okay, I guess I'd say off the top of my head, the issues when runners are on. Because I think that there's so many good players in this batting order and in this lineup that for them to constantly have bases loaded. Alec Boma gets what is the new rule? Took too long. Gets hit with a strike. Oh, man. Now you're hurting yourself and putting yourself in a really rough spot. Whether it's men on second and third, one out, a pop-up and a strikeout swinging. Too many times, with a lot of good talent at the plate, they haven't been able to execute there. I don't think that carries on forever. So I would say that would be my one negative. I didn't expect it to be this gross. I believe it'll change because the hitters on this team are good and they are constantly getting guys on for a reason because they are good. They just have to finish. They haven't finished well. So that's what I'll say with that. Malik texts in, does the bullpen worry you? I think Craig Kimbrell looks better, but I always get scared of our arms ruining wins. No, the bullpen doesn't worry me right now. I said this before the season began. I thought they were going to be your strength. There's a lot of talent in the bullpen, right? There's a lot of good arms in there. Pitching takes a while. Pitching takes a bit. Takes a few outings. You could see where Craig Kimbrell is now compared to the start of the season. Gregory Soto, same thing. Jose Alvarado might be the best bullpen arm in baseball. He's that gross. His stuff is that legit. He's got that much confidence. He will blow you away. And he was sent down to get that all fixed, which is just amazing. But no, I'm not worried about the bullpen. I think there's a lot of options to go to. They just had to work through the kinks. So I don't know if it's because of years past that makes your alarm go off and puts the wall up with you being nervous about ruining wins. I like where they're at there from a player look at it. Meaning I like the players that you have. There's a lot of good talent back there. They just, one, can't be used as much when your starters go 4, when they go 4 2/3, when they can't go 5, when they can't go 6, and it's happening multiple games in a row with not a lot of time off this month. You did get the leisure of having a rain delay, push a game back into the next game, but then you had a doubleheader. So for the blessing, there's a curse. I'm okay with the pen. And then we'll do a last text here. Hey, Broads, it's not so bad seeing 11-12 as the Phillies record. I'd like to hear what lineup you'd write up if you were Rob Thompson. Keep up the content. We love it here. Thank you. Thank you very much. What would I do with the lineup? Okay, based off of what I've seen Rob do, if we're keeping it reasonable on what it's been, trying to keep it in range of what it's been, I'd go Stott. I'd go Turner. Do you want Bryce Harper in there? I'll give you one with Bryce back. So Stott, Turner, Bryce, Nick. That's my 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't like batting Schwarber 5. I don't know if I like this. I'm just writing it down, and I don't like batting Schwarber that low. I don't. Stott's doing well, though. And I like the Stott-Turner combo. And having Bryce bat behind them, knowing that Stott could get on and steal a bag, or Trey Turner gets on, and then he pushes it. Let's say Stott singles, steals second, Turner singles first and third, having Bryce Harper at the plate. I like that a lot. I like Schwarber. I don't like going lefty-lefty, but would you put him in the cleanup spot? And then it's lefty-lefty, meaning Bryce 3, Schwarber 4, back-to-back lefties. I'm not a big fan of that at all, but I don't like Schwarber batting 5th. This is a good problem to have. There's a lot of players that I like at the top of my order, trying to make sure they get the proper at-bats. This is making me uncomfortable, I have to admit. Schwarber batting 5, but I'll keep going with it. I'll go Bohm 6. After Bohm, I'll go Nick 7. That can be moved around, especially if he's going to hit home runs. And then who am I missing after that? Is it the Edmundo Sosas of the world? Whatever you want to write in. Edmundo Sosa. Oh, I didn't even put Marsh in there. Marsh can bat 8th, and then 9th can be your Edmundo. Something along those lines, but I might have to tinker with it because I don't like Schwarber batting 5th. Maybe one without Bryce. I'd go Stott, Turner, Schwarbs, Nick. Oh, I didn't even put JT in there either. Jeez, man. JT, I didn't even put in that lineup. We got Marsh. We got JT. That's because Bryce playing first base. But he'd be DHing in the beginning. Holy hell, my brain's a pretzel. My brain's a pretzel. All right, I'll give you it one last time because I've said 900 things already. I'll give you the one right now without Bryce because that's easier. Stott, Turner, Schwarber, Nick, Marsh, JT, Bohm. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then 8 could be Sosa. 9 could be Cave. How do you feel about that? That's where I'm at. All right. So appreciate it. Appreciate the texts. Appreciate the phone calls. Appreciate all you listening live as we do this show. Before we wrap it up, remember, you can check out Sports Talk with Broads on your podcasting platforms. Leave a nice 5-star rating. Leave a review. That will go a very long way for me. Thank you all so much. Good series. For the first time this year, I legitimately sit down in my studio, put my headset on to talk about the fight-ins, and I think that we can leave with a very positive note. For the first time, let's see how we feel when they face Seattle. Thank you, guys. You're the best. Catch you later on.